grow,
And we
guided them
request
to
our
know Jesus,
graduates or members.
encouraged them. Serve joyfully
So our
and
graduates
live
or our
faithfully,
seniors will just be
both
seated at the
now and
sides.
for
But
eternity.
this
As they
time,
step into
the seats
adulthood,
up
they
here
desire
or
more than
in
just a
front
college
are
degree
for
for
your
them,
parents.
where the classroom begins with
And
prayer. The academy and its mini auditorium, the re-roofing of the gym, the psychology laboratory, the additional hotel-like dormitory wing, renovation of the Raya Hall stage and putting up of a TV flat screen. Additionally, amenities of the School of Nursing Laboratory. Most recently, the smartboard. We've also acquired the Cerito, bringing conveniently our nursing students to and from their affiliated duty venue. Also improving library services and expanding holding databases to enhance research opportunities. Paying for CPAC is now convenient. You can use cash agad transactions or pay online via GCash, Padawan Pay, and BDO online payment. Simply search for Central Philippine Adventist College as the biller. Whether students are studying nursing, business and accountancy, engineering and technology, theology, and education, they'll be equipped to impact the world while staying rooted in their Adventist values. With Sabbath keeping, a health-conscious campus, and a community of young people seeking God together, this is a place where your child can thrive. This is more than college. This is a mission. This is home. CPAC. We're in the world, but not of the world. We're educating for eternity. Secure your child's future. Come to CPAC.
At CPAC, an Adventist institution of higher education strategically located in Alegria Morcia, Negros Occidental. We light the path for learners across the central Philippines and beyond. Unique academic opportunities. We are the only Adventist institution in the regions of Southeast Asia, Africa, and Oceania offering a civil engineering program, empowering you to construct your future. Ignite your passion with our unique bachelor's degree in music and piano pedagogy. We also offer comprehensive programs in psychology and Filipino, broadening your academic possibilities. Serene learning environment. Leave behind the hustle and bustle of city life and immerse yourself in the serene beauty of our rural campus. Breathe in the fresh air and draw inspiration from the tranquil surroundings. A campus that feels like home. Our campus fosters a family-oriented environment, cultivating a sense of community. Experience the comfort of our own campus amenities and forge lifelong connections. Diverse course offerings. Venture into a wide array of disciplines from education, business, technology, nursing, and theology. Our comprehensive curriculum equips you for success across these diverse fields. Our courses: Bachelor of Elementary Education, Bachelor of Secondary Education, major in English, Math, Science, and Filipino, Bachelor of Physical Education, Bachelor of Science in Psychology, Bachelor of Science in Biology, Bachelor of Music, major in Piano Pedagogy and Music Education. For business: Bachelor of Science in Accountancy, Bachelor of Science in Business Administration, major in Financial Management and Marketing Management, Bachelor of Science in Office Administration. For engineering and technology:
Good afternoon
Bachelor
again,
of Science
everyone.
in Civil Engineering,
We request all
Bachelor of Science in
members of
Electronics
Edelweiss
Engineering,
2025 to
Bachelor of
please
Science
usher
in
your
Information
parents to the
Technology,
back. And
Bachelor of Science in Agriculture,
when coming
major
in with your
Crop
parents,
Science.
let your parents be seated
Other courses
on
are
the seats in
Bachelor of
front where you were
Theology,
seated a while ago.
Bachelor
Your
of
seats
Science
as
in Nursing.
graduates will be
Exceptional
on the pews.
academic performance. We aim for excellence, and we see this in our academic outputs and board ratings. Engineering students are making concept models for our SDA churches while overseeing the projects. Our commitment to academic excellence is reflected in our consistent performance, exceeding national ratings in board and licensure exams. The May 2024 result for the nursing licensure examination has placed Cpac nationally as the top 2 performing school among institutions with 30 to 50 examinees, garnering a passing rate of 97.27%. For the licensure examination for professional teachers, our elementary graduates in 2021 had a 100% passing rate, and in 2022 garnered a 100% passing rate for first-time takers. Our secondary education for the same licensure exam has been consistently outperforming the national ratings. These licensure exam results highlight our commitment to academic excellence, preparing graduates to excel in their fields and contribute meaningfully to society. Cpac has 5 programs accredited.
Good afternoon again, everyone. In a little while, we'll
Sound check.
Good afternoon, everyone. Our tribute program has started, and to give us the words of welcome this afternoon, let us hear Shaira May A. Takapan, Bachelor of Science in Nursing, Associate Secretary of the Edelweiss 2025 class. May we ask the stage persons to please be seated.
Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of the graduating class Edelweiss 2025, I am truly honored and delighted to welcome all of you to today's very special tribute program. We are gathered here not only to celebrate these important milestones in our lives, but also to share this joyful moment with the people who have been part of our journey, our families, friends, teachers, school leaders, and special guests. Today, we come together not just as individuals, but as united family, bound by gratitude, respect, and admiration, to honor those who have touched our lives in meaningful and unforgettable ways. Whether you are here as a family member, a friend, a mentor, a supporter, or a guest, your presence speaks volumes about the love, encouragement, and support that have brought us to this moment. Your presence here makes this occasion even more meaningful and memorable. This is a time for reflection, to look back on the challenges we have overcome, to appreciate the lessons we have learned, and to look forward with hope and excitement to the bright future that awaits. Thank you for joining us in this celebration. Let us all enjoy, cherish, and make the most of this special program together. Welcome, everyone, and may we all have a wonderful and inspiring time ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Shaira. And now, let us all sing the song For the Beauty of the Earth as a hymnal 565, as our choristers will lead us in the singing.
Shall we all rise?
Shall we remain standing as Gian Brinth A. Humagda will offer the prayer.
Let us all bow down for our word of prayer. Our most gracious, kind, and heavenly Father, O Lord, we are feeling gratitude and thankfulness that you have gathered us here, fellow students, faculty members, and especially our parents and guardians as we come together this afternoon to hold this tribute program for the completers of this Edelweiss 2025. We thank you, O Lord, that you have guided us and you have protected us safely as we journeyed to this building to join together to give thanks not only for your blessings but also, O Lord, for those times that you tried us but we were able to overcome. This afternoon, O Lord, we would like to ask you to bless us, especially the participants, that thou, Lord, they will be able to perform their duties and obligations this afternoon in order for them to show the gratitude and the thankfulness to those that supported us through our journey. This is our prayer. In the name of Jesus we pray. Amen.
Let us now be seated and let our hearts be warmed with the welcome remarks from our own College President, Dr. Neda June Salazar.
Maayong hapon. Maayong hapon sa mga hinigugma namon nga mga ginikanan. Dako ang amon pasalamat sa inyo pagpadala sang inyo kabataan diri sa Central Philippine Adventist College. Kada tribute to parents, I always get teary-eyed. Tungod sa tanan nga parte sang graduation weekend, amo gid ini sa tanan ang pinaka-memorable, touching, and very heartwarming. Sa sining nga hapon, gusto ko ipaalinton sa inyo ang dako namon nga pagpasalamat sa inyo, mga ginikanan. Sa inyo sakripisyo, kag sa inyo pagpadala sang inyo kabataan diri sa Central Philippine Adventist College. On behalf of the graduating seniors and CPAC as college president, I extend my warmest welcome to each and every one of you. But that doesn't end there. Let me start by sharing with you a short story. And this is one of the old story sang isa ka nanay nga nagalakat sang pinakamilya kada adlaw para dalon ang iya bata sa eskwelahan. Rain or shine, hunger or tiredness, ang ini nga nanay wala naguntat sa pagdulong sugat sang iya nga bata because she believed in the future that she could not even see. But she hoped with all her heart that her child will become successful someday. And this child indeed became a teacher. She also became a leader and blessing the community around her. This also strongly reminds me of my own mother-in-law. If you happen to know her, Rita Sotis Salazar. She has raised 8 children, only as a housekeeper, with a husband who is a kolorum driver. But she did not stop pushing her children to go to school. Tungod nagapati siya nga ang edukasyon ang makahatag sang maayo nga puturo sa iya kabataan. My mother-in-law was able to let all her children finish their education, even with a little money and even with almost always little amount of food for the family. Pero she was able to raise children who are professionals. Isa naging Vice President for Finance sa isa ka state university, isa CPA sa Commission on Audit, duha mga nurses sa Amerika, ang isa PhD kag ang isa amo ang akon bana. And with that, they were also able to raise grandchildren who are now, some are medical doctors, nurses, many of them nurses, and many of them now having good, and one of that is consul in Saudi Arabia. I salute my mother-in-law. But more than that, I salute you, parents. Tungod ako nakahibalo sa inyo sakripisyo para makamahatagan ninyo ang inyo kabataan sang Christian education. Mapadala diri sa CPAC bisan daw ano kabudlay para sa inyo. Nakahibalo ako sang inyo pagpatos. Nakahibalo ako kag nakita ko ang sakripisyo sang inyo kabataan. Handom manamon makabulig sa inyo financially, pero ang CPAC kinanglanman sang finances para kita makasurvive. Parents, to the sponsors, to the teachers, and to my fellow administrators, this tribute time is for you. This is for us. This is an expression of our children that they are thankful, full of gratitude, because we care for them and we love them. Sa aton nga mga graduates, sa aton nga mga kabataan who are graduating by tomorrow, treasure this moment. Make your parents feel happy and proud that they were able to raise children like you. And we hope and pray that you will never fail them of their dreams and their ambitions in your life. May isa ka bata nga lalaki who is also very successful. When he was asked, "What made you successful?" And he said, "Because I am walking in between giants. My teachers, my parents, and the people who care for me." Success, young people, is not made all alone by ourselves. Success is being able to connect, be thankful, and always be filled with gratitude. So subong nga hapon, punon naton ang ini nga hapon sang memories, sang pleasant memories, sweet memories for your parents, for your teachers, for your sponsors, and for the people who care so much about you. God bless each one of you, and welcome to this wonderful event.
Thank you, Dr. Salazar, for that heartfelt welcome. Before we listen to tribute speeches, let us first listen to a special song from the group God's Gents.
Mike.
If you could see what I once was, if you could go with me back to where I started from, then I know you would see a miracle of love that took me in its sweet embrace and made me what I am today. Just an old sinner, saved by grace. I'm just a sinner, saved by grace. When I stood condemned to death, He took my place. Now I live and breathe in freedom. With each breath of life I take, love and forgiven. Back with the living. I'm just a sinner, saved by grace. How could I tell of anything I've ever seen or done? How could I post that to claim as mine the victories God has won? Where would I be had God not brought me gently to this place? I'm here to say I'm nothing but a sinner, saved by grace. I'm just a sinner, saved by grace. When I stood condemned to death, He took my place. Now I grow and breathe in freedom. With each breath of life I take, loved and forgiven. Back with the living. I'm just a sinner, saved by grace. Now I grow and breathe in freedom. With each breath of life I take, love and forgiven. Back with the living. I'm just a sinner, saved by grace. Saved by grace.
The next few parts will be expressions of gratitude from the Edelweiss 2025. So let's hear some speeches of tribute for the parents, for the sponsors, and for the mentors. Now let's hear tribute to our parents. Parents, this is for you. And let's now listen on behalf of Edelweiss 2025. Let's listen to Carlin May D. Tagalugon.
Behind every young child who believes in themselves is a parent who believes in them first. That quote is stated in the book of Matthew, Jacob's son. Today, as we stand at the beginning of a new chapter, gowns on our shoulders, diplomas within reach, we pause. Not just to celebrate the end of one journey, but to honor the silent pillars behind our success. Our graduation is not simply a reflection of individual effort, but a tribute to those who believed in us long before we believed in ourselves. It is only right that before we look forward, we look back with deep gratitude to the hands that held us steady, the voices that guided us, and the hearts that never gave up on us, our parents. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the people who made this day possible, those who brought our dreams to life. I am honored and privileged to speak on behalf of the entire graduating class of 2025 to share our deepest gratitude to our parents and those who stood as parents to us throughout our lives. From the first day of school, when our backpacks seemed too heavy on our tiny shoulders, up to this moment, as we carry the weight of our future responsibilities. Our parents have walked beside us and will continue to do so. They celebrated our victories, no matter how small. They offered strength when we stumbled. In moments of doubt, their words lifted us. In times of uncertainty, their presence gave us peace. They were there in silence and in celebration. Throughout sleepless nights and countless sacrifices, some of which we may never fully understand, but they poured into our lives not only financial support, but more importantly, their patience and unconditional love. Ang pagpalangga sang aton mga ginikanan. Let us reflect on our parents' sacrifice when our parents sacrifice their time, their emotional well-being, their money, their personal lives, and even their own desires for us, their time. You know, ginkuha ko lang ning quote from a parent also who paid tribute to their co-parents. It says, upon becoming parents, a couple's life begins to revolve around their child. Sa pagsugod sang panahon nga naging parents sila, naging ginikanan sila, hasta matapos ang ila kabuhi, ginikanan na gid sila. Priorities shift, and what was once us often becomes for our baby, for our little one. Throughout their lives, they've dedicated their time directly or indirectly to their children. Even relaxing after a busy day at work can seem impossible when a child, si Inday or si Tuto, is eagerly waiting to play with them. Their me time often feels like a distant memory. Let me share to you my story. My parents, their day started at 3 a.m. while everyone else was in deep sleep. They would travel all the way to Canlaon, from Binalbagan to Canlaon para magbakal utan at 3 a.m. Their day would end around 8 or 9 p.m., spent standing and selling. You know, guys, friends, We only had our house for almost 5 or 6 years ago. For like 20 years, si nanay, ang amon family is just staying in one room. Naga-rent lang kami, but often wala pa kami nagakilit anay. We are just staying in one room. Isa lang ka kwarto ang amon boarding house, pero wala pa kami gakilit anay. Tungod nga si nanay mahalin, alas 3 ang aga, mapuli alas 10 ang gabi. Halinan niya ko tulog, balikan niya ko tulog, pero wala kami gakilit anay, isa lang kami ka kwarto. I would often tell them, Nay, tay, pahuway man ka mo kisa? My mother's constant reply was, Day, kung magpahuway ko, ano ang ibayad na sa tuition mo? Ano ang ipabalon ko sa imo? I know all of our parents, we have heard them say that also. It clenched my heart to hear this from a 61-year-old woman. From a 67-year-old man. My mom is 61-year-old. My father is 67-year-old. And sometimes, to tell you frankly, they have experienced so much in life. They have experienced being robbed in the middle of the road. Nakaagi sila hold up. They have experienced accidents na hospital si nanay, si tatay. Because sa ilang pagpangabudlay para sa amon. They didn't have time to unwind, to rest, because they were constantly thinking about me. I know all of our parents is constantly thinking about us, about their daughters, about their sons. They sacrifice not just their time, but also their emotional well-being. This is one of the most profound sacrifices. Our parents often reorder their lives for us, sometimes at the cost of their own emotional comfort. People and moments in their lives that once provided them emotional security have become infrequent due to parental responsibilities. My parents, especially my mother, would often choose to be at the market rather than spend time with her friends. Not because she wants to spend her time in the market, but because she needs to. For us, for me. They sacrifice not just their time or their emotional well-being, but also their money. Parents can spend money to fulfill at their child's needs, right from childhood. They provide the best education possible and sometimes go beyond their limits to give their children better opportunities. These sacrifices take a great toll on their financial planning and also their personal lives. A child demands undivided attention until he or she becomes independent. By that time, parents might find that many of their own prime years have passed, with personal ambitions deferred. As said earlier, the us before often becomes our baby. Post-retirement, they might find that time for themselves, but many of the golden days of their adulthood were invested in creating a life for their children rather than for themselves. And of course, their own personal desires. If you noticed, my fellow graduates, starting from their wardrobe, to the house decor, to the little things in life, many decisions were made to suit their child's comfort or later were ruled by his or her choices. Mas damo pa ko bag-o nga bayo kaysa bag-o nga bayo ni nanay. Even what I wear today, mas mahal ang bayo o kaysa sa bayo ni nanay. That's because she wants something better for me than for her. Later on, parents might even adjust their own post-retirement plans, sometimes having to shift cities to be with us. If time will come that we will be successful, kuhaon ta ang aton parents from their comfort zone. Sa place nga gindakuan nila because kinanlan nila magsaylo para maupod ta. And that's a big sacrifice for them, especially in their old age. But they do it for us because of their love for us. They made sure you had the best even when they were at their worst. They sacrificed their sleep so you could dream big. They gave up their hobbies. They set aside their own needs to care for you when you were sick. They spent more time with you and put their social lives on hold. They shared the last piece of food with you, even when they were hungry. Privacy often feels like a luxury they couldn't afford. They saved for your future instead of splurging on themselves. They kept calm when you inadvertently destroyed their favorite things. They gave you their whole heart. That's why to our parents, to our mama, to our papa, to our mommy, daddy, nay, tay, thank you. Thank you for enduring the struggle so we could have opportunities. Thank you for dreaming with us when our own vision faltered. And thank you for raising us not just to succeed, but to become people of integrity, humility, and purpose. As we step forward into the world beyond the walls of our houses and beyond the gates of Central Philippine Adventist College, we carry your love with us. And we promise to honor your sacrifices not only by achieving success, but by living lives of meaning and gratitude. To our parents, this triumph is yours as much as it is ours. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Carlene May Tagalugon, for that wonderful tribute to our parents. Brothers and sisters, there have been generous individuals who have rendered support to a number of our graduates. These individuals, we call them sponsors. They have rendered financial support, and sometimes they acted as parents. And so to give tribute to these wonderful individuals, let us hear from Adrian E. Lozong in behalf of the sponsored students.
Pleasant afternoon, everyone. May I request every sponsors who are with us this afternoon to please stand. Whether you're a relative, non-blood related, friends of the graduates, may I request you to stand. Do we have sponsors here? Thank you very much. Thank you for coming. Once again, happy Sabbath. I'll be speaking in behalf of the Edelweiss 2025 students who are graduating and giving their message for the sponsors. It is a wondrous privilege for me to stand before you today and speak on behalf of my fellow sponsored students. First and foremost, I would like to lift up the name of God, who has been our ultimate sponsor throughout our college journey. He is the God who brought us these wonderful people, you, our dear sponsors, into our lives as instruments, enabling us to complete our undergraduate studies. Allow me to mention my personal sponsor, Uncle Ariel Rosas. Thank you for everything, and he is watching right now. It seemed an impossible dream for me to return to my studies after I had stopped. By the way, parents and sponsors, I have stopped for 6 years before I am able to go back to studies. But God led me to your family, and you graciously offered to help me return to school and finish what I have started in the School of Theology. May God bless you abundantly, Uncle Dundoy, and the entire Rosas family. Tani, kunta, madamo pagid nga pagpakamaayo ang mag-abot sa Indo pamilya. By the way, Doc Neda, I am the 5th theology student that he sponsored here in Cpac. He's been an avid supporter of CPAC, and he will never send students from other schools other than Cpac. And thank you for that, Uncle Dundoy. To all sponsors, with prayerful hearts, we whom you supported know that simply saying thank you is not enough. But we want you to know that throughout our entire stay here at Cpac, it has been our heartfelt routine to include each of you, our sponsors, in our every prayer. Your tremendous support has not only enabled us to reach this milestone, but has also inspired a deep desire within us to pay it forward someday. These wonderful individuals were not obligated to help us, yet they did so out of sheer generosity. Some of you are relatives, friends of our families, and in some instances like my own, you are not even related by blood or family ties. Yet in your kindness, many of us have found a sense of belonging and support that feels like home. May the good Lord shower you with abundant blessings, especially good health for you, your families, and your relatives, and all who share in your eagerness to help individuals like us reach our dreams and become useful agents for the advancement of God's kingdom. May God bless you richly. God bless us all, and congratulations to my fellow graduates. Happy Sabbath.
Thank you, Adrian, for that wonderful tribute to our sponsors. And dear sponsors of our graduates, thank you very much. Teachers create a big part in a student's life, and this influence may have a big part of a student. And so, to render the tribute to the mentors, let us hear Kyla Mariel B. Cadorna.
A pleasant afternoon, everyone, and happy Sabbath. Standing before you today as a representative of the graduating class, I carry not just my own voice, but the collective gratitude, a deep sense of respect from every seniors seated in here. Each of us whose lives has been shaped by the mentors we are honoring today. To our beloved teachers and college mentors across all departments and every field of study here in Central Philippine Adventist College, this tribute is for you. Let's be honest. When we first came here in CPAC, we thought that we are just simply enrolling for a course. But what we received was much greater. We were mentored, guided, shaped, challenged, and even prayed for. Teachers, you came to the class prepared, sometimes tired, often carrying the burdens we never saw. You poured your energy into every lecture, every piece of feedback, and every moment of guidance, always giving what was required. You taught not only with your words, but with your very lives. You are not perfect, and the beauty is, you never pretended to be. You allowed us to see your humanity. You showed us that you could be tired, sometimes overwhelmed by deadlines and responsibilities we couldn't fully grasp. But what we saw beyond those human moments was something far more powerful: your persevering dedication. You showed us that teaching is not just a profession, it is a calling. We saw how you stayed long hours to help us complete our requirements, how you prayed for us before exams, and how you corrected us with firmness, yet always with love. You gave your time, sometimes, perhaps, more than what you should have, to ensure that our learning needs are being catered, and we learned not just facts, but also wisdom. You listened patiently to our questions, even the repetitive ones, and never wavered in your guidance. And most importantly, you led us back to Jesus. In a world that constantly pulls young people away from the values, their faith, and even from themselves, you chose to reflect Christ in your words and in your actions. You weren't just teaching our minds, you were reaching our hearts. You may never fully see the results of your labor. You may never remember every name, but today, we remember you. You are the reason some of us didn't give up. You are the reason we dared to dream for more, study a little harder, and trust God a little more. And as we leave the halls of CPAC and head towards new beginnings, whether in hospitals, classrooms, churches, offices, or farms, we carry with us your lessons, not just the ones written in our notes, but the ones we saw in your lives, to serve humbly, to love truthfully, and to live faithfully. On behalf of the class Edelweiss 2025, we say thank you. Thank you for being more than educators. Thank you for being the godly examples, mentors, and in many ways, our family. You have left an indelible mark in our lives. We pray that your reward in heaven will be great, not because you taught perfect students, but because you faithfully gave your best to the students who needed you. We love you and we honor you. God bless you, and mabuhay mga ma'am and sir of Central Philippine Adventist College. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that wonderful tribute. Brothers and sisters, at this point, we have just heard the tributes to parents, sponsors, and mentors in words. Now, the Edelweiss 2025 would like to express their love and appreciation in a more tangible way. So let us give them the time to distribute their tokens of appreciation to their parents, sponsors, and mentors. Let us now give the time to all graduates to go to their parents, go to their sponsors, and go to their mentors, because they will give their expressions of tokens. Edelweiss 2025, you have 3 minutes more to go to send in or to go to your parents, to your sponsors, and to whoever you would like to thank. So we are giving you 3 minutes more. Shall we now get settled and continue with our program? Graduates or Edelweiss 2025, thank you very much for your tokens of appreciation given to your mentors, your parents, and your sponsors. And now, brothers and sisters, let us hear an intermission number from the Aisirat Trio.
Test. Mic test.
There are times in this life when fear is so heavy and burdens weigh on your mind. You are weak in the knee and no strength can you find. Just hold on, helps right on time. My Jesus is always test, and I have watched as the storm blew in with the thunder. But in each trial, He knows what's best, and I am so glad He knows what's best. And though you may see a valley, He sees the mountain you'll be standing on. When all you can see are the tears falling down, I'm so glad He sees what we don't. He knows the end from the beginning. He looks ahead past the hurt and the pain to a place where the peace passes all understanding. He sees the sun through the rain. Though you may see your valley, He sees the mountain you'll be standing on. And all you can see are the tears falling down. I'm so glad He sees what we don't, and I am so glad He sees what we don't.
Thank you very much, Isira Trio, for that wonderful intermission number. Brothers and sisters, let us now listen to the responses in behalf of the parents, sponsors, and mentor. Let us first hear the response on behalf of the parents by Emily C. Normal.
To all the graduates, especially to CD, we are extremely proud of you in all that you have achieved and accomplished. Watching you grow, work hard, and reach this milestone is an inspiration for us as your family, and our hearts are filled with joy and gratitude. Now is the time to embrace your future. And in doing so, always remember that when the cloud is in its darkest, in the end of it, there is always the silver lining. Remember to always be brave, strong, and smart. Never underestimate your worth. Keep an open heart and mind as you to continue to learn and grow. Keep an open heart and mind as you continue to learn and grow. Follow your dreams and never give up on your passions. We love you more than words can say. We'll always be here for you, no matter what. We're so excited to see where life takes you. and will be cheering you in every step of the way. Remember, your love and support. Me and your dada, Ate Kali, Ate Sweet, Ate Kuya Charlie II, Lola Reka, and Dukning knew that you will come this far. We do believe in you releasing your dreams because you are always an achiever and you have made us all proud. As you cherish the fruits of your hard work, I wish that success keeps following you in everything that you do. So all of you graduates, you've worked hard to achieve your goals and now you're on your way to seek new landscapes in your life. Dream new dreams. Embark on who you are. Embrace life with passion and keep reaching for your star. Go for it. The journey of life brings both challenges and chances. May you carry your spirit to snatch the chances and beat the challenges. Congratulations on your graduation. May you live a proud life. To God be the glory. God will always be your guide. Congratulations, Edelweiss 2025.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Emily C. Normal. Brothers and sisters, let us now listen to the response on behalf of the sponsors through a video presentation by Ariel R. Rosas.
A generous person will prosper. Whoever to our respected administrators, faculty and staff of our dear alma mater, Cpac, to our proud parents, family, sponsors, friends, guests, students, and most especially to all of you, gleeful graduates and very soon to be fellow professionals. Greetings. It's such a joy to be with you today, although virtually, and I'm deeply grateful for the opportunity to be part of your program, even though I am halfway across the globe. I would be grateful if you could just give me about just 10 minutes of your attention, because I want to talk to you about something powerful, something that goes beyond academics, beyond grades, and even beyond college itself. As one of the so-called sponsors, I want to speak about the blessing of helping a student finish college, and why this act is not only meaningful, but deeply Christian. You see, as students in a Christian school like Cpac, you are learning something that is greater than just math, science, or literature. You are learning about God's heart, His compassion, His justice, and His call for us to serve one another. And one of the most beautiful ways we live out our faith is by lifting someone else up, especially when they are struggling to reach their God-given potential. It was not a mere happenstance, but truly a plan of God that in 2018, I came to know your fellow graduate, Adrian Luzon. We call him RR. He is not my relative, and I didn't know him or his family prior to that time. But the first time I saw and heard him speak in the church, I saw a potential in him to be a good youth leader and maybe an excellent pastor. His fellow youth told me who he is and that he is a sole convert to Adventism in his family, that he studied theology in AUP as a working student but has stopped for some years already due to financial hardship. Then I knew him a little more when we had our youth camp in May 2019. Months after that youth camp, God impressed our hearts, my wife and I, to help him with his studies. I planned to tell him about it, so I sent a message to him in October 2019, asking him if we could chat, but he ignored it. So 2 years had passed and there was no communication between us. But in November 2021, just after COVID, we had our weekend youth camp, and before we broke camp, I got the chance to talk to him. I asked him if he wanted to go back to school, and he told me he has been praying for it since he's been out of school for 6 years already. Well, his prayers were about to be answered. I told him that my wife and I will help him, but with one condition, that he must transfer from AUP to the best theology school in the country, which is, of course, Cpac College of Theology. He agreed. And now, 3 years after, by the grace of God, I can call him Pastor Adrian Luzon. Sounds great, right? You see, when someone helps a student finish college, whether it's paying tuition, offering a place to stay, buying a meal, or simply just giving words of encouragement, that person is doing what Christ called us to do, to love our neighbors as ourselves. In Galatians chapter 6, verse 2, it says, "Carry each other's burdens, and in this way you will fulfill the law of Christ." That's what helping a student truly is. Carrying a burden with them, walking with them, and refusing to let them give up. It is more than charity. It is ministry. So why this is so important? Because for many students, especially those who come from difficult backgrounds, finishing college is never easy. Financial stress, family pressure, mental health challenges, they can all become overwhelming. And many students, sadly, walk away from their dreams simply because there's no one there to say, "I believe in you and I will help you." But when someone helps, it changes everything. That help can turn despair into faith and hopelessness into inspiration. Jesus, in Matthew 25, verse 40 says, "Whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me." When we help a student reach graduation, we are not just blessing them, we are honoring Christ. What's amazing is that when you help a student, you're not just changing one life, you're changing many. That student you help may become a teacher who impacts thousands of children. He may become a pastor who leads hundreds to the feet of Jesus. Or a doctor or a nurse who brings comfort and healing. And all that started because someone helped them finish college. Imagine that. Imagine that your support, your encouragement, and your kindness is the reason someone stands in front of a future classroom or church or hospital or mission field. That's God's kingdom impact. Now here's something even more powerful. When you help someone, you yourself are blessed in return. Because it is true what Proverbs 11:25 says, a generous person will prosper. Whoever refreshes others will be refreshed. For my wife and I, it is one of our greatest joys to see Adrian succeed and knowing we had a small but meaningful part in his story. Through God's enabling, our help became a seed planted in God's garden, and God brought forth the harvest. And helping others reminds us that success isn't about climbing the top alone, but bringing others with us. So to our respected college administrators, faculty and staff, and dear students, I pray and hope that this is the kind of community you continue to build here at CPAC. A place where no one is left behind. A place where all of you encourage one another, pray for one another, and ready to step up to help when you see someone is struggling. To you, dear graduates, and to my fellow professionals, you don't have to wait until you're rich or famous to help someone. You can start even now. If someone is discouraged, speak hope to them. If someone is falling behind, offer to help. Offer to help them catch up. If a friend is facing financial struggles, pray and see if your family can assist. Or if not, find somebody or talk to someone who can. Every small act of kindness has eternal value. So as I close, I want to remind you, dear graduates, you are all here. You are graduating this weekend because someone was used by God to help you. A parent, a teacher, a relative, a pastor, a friend, or even a stranger. Someone who cares about you. You did not get here alone. And to my final point, God is calling you to do the same for others. Please pass forward the kindness, the generosity to others. So whether it's today or years down the road when you are blessed in your career, don't forget, please, to look for someone you can help. Be the reason someone makes it. Be the answer to someone's prayer. Be the blessing that God uses to carry someone across the finish line. Because when you help a student finish college, you're not just giving him a degree. You're giving him dignity. You're giving him hope. And you're opening a way for him to a bright future here on earth and in heaven above. And that is one of the greatest ways to serve Christ. So to you, RR, you did great, man. And you make your parents, your family, your friends, your Auntie Nining, and I and our family so proud of you. To all of you, dear graduates, may God bless you as you bless others. Muchísimas gracias.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rosas, although you are not presently here this afternoon, but you gave your response. And now, brothers and sisters, let us listen to the response from a mentor, Miss Sheila Joy D. Samihon.
Hi everyone, good afternoon. Umiyak na ba ang lahat? Smile naman tayo. Okay, so this is a day of celebration. So may I see your beautiful smiles, parents? Oh, graduates, congratulations. After graduating from high school, I wasn't sure what course to take in college, but I knew full well that I don't want to be a teacher. So when my mother told me that I will take accounting course, I just asked one question. Hambal ko, Mang hindi na magmaestra? Hambal niya ko nung hindi. So I obeyed. And I thought I was smart before I met accounting. But the first time I went into my accounting class, I felt like I'm not so smart. But despite the difficulty, I strived, I worked hard because this course will not make me a teacher. And according to one of my professor, kung masipiik ako no magmanggaranon kadayon. So, nagpatigil ko sa ila. So, by God's grace, I passed the Cpac board exam with a belief that I will not be a teacher and I will be rich. And when I look back, although kung tanawon nyo ko, daw isa lang ko sa graduating student, no? I've been a teacher for 10 long years. Can you imagine? So this time, I have what I don't want and I don't have what I want. But why did I stay? Why did I stay? When I had a chance, the opportunity to leave and get what I wanted. Before I explain why I stayed, let me share with you, Edelweiss, I hope you're listening. There are 3 types of teachers. The first, good teachers. They are teachers with a heart. They love their students dearly. They're very considerate. When students tell them that the coursework is heavy and too much, which includes assignments, projects, exams, the teacher will consider. They extend deadlines. As much as possible, they give easy quizzes and exams to avoid overburdening the students. And occasionally, they cancel classes to give students time to recuperate and focus on more pressing tasks. And these teachers, they give good grades and make sure that students will graduate on time. They don't usually get angry. They have all the smiles and they are very considerate. These teachers are worthy to be loved. Do you agree with me, Edelweiss? Or do you have someone in mind? The second are better teachers. These teachers possess both heart and brains. These teachers love their students on a different level. They administer challenging quizzes and exams, enforce strict project deadlines, require participation in class recitation, returns and grade papers promptly, maintain strict discipline in the classroom, and sometimes they fail students because they understand that there are still lessons to be learned. They never miss classes. They arrive prepared with multiple sets of assessments and discussions as they have valuable knowledge to share. These teachers prepare students not only for graduation, but for the realities of life afterwards. They understand the challenges you may encounter once you leave the portals of the schools. They equipped you to pass the board examination and become successful professionals, whether as engineers, nurses, accountants, managers, ministers, or teachers. More than the theories covered in the class, these teachers teach you hard work, discipline, honesty, integrity, and courage before you will face the real battles of life. They share valuable lessons from their own experience and failures. These teachers are mostly misunderstood as not considerate. But these teachers are worthy of love and respect. They love, at the same time, they prepare students for the greater opportunities of life. Do you have someone in mind, Edelweiss? And the third type of teacher, these are the best teachers. These are the teachers with heart, brain, and they have Jesus in their lives. They are very rare and extraordinary. Who prepares not only for graduation or life after graduation, but they prepare students for eternity. They want students to add from the knowledge and skills, they want to add faith, and they want students to trust God in wherever they will be in the future. The love of these teachers are beyond. They come to class prepared, they love their students, and they pray with and for their students. Their efforts are beyond what money can compensate for, and their influence are beyond limits. These are the most selfless people, and they are worthy of love, respect, and honor. But Edelweiss, no matter what types of teacher you have, the number one reasons why they are here is because they love you. And they always want the best for you. And do you know that what type of teacher you love will actually reflect what type of students you are? If you're thinking that you're a good student who works just for the graduation, you are a work in progress. Do not be surprised when after graduating, you will go through some process of bending, cutting, painting, or polishing before you can finally face the world. If you think you're a better student, you're a finished goods. So, my apologies. So, these are accounting terms. When we say finished goods, in the manufacturing process, these are products na start na siya ubra pero wala pa siya natapos. Finished goods are those goods na tapos na siya ubra pero wala pa siya nabaligya. And if you are a better student, you are a finished good ready to be sold in the market, and you're ready to face the world with skills and discipline that you'll learn. But if you think you are the best student, you are a cost of goods sold bought by God, and you are ready to serve the world with the love of Jesus. But I believe with all my heart that Edelweiss, you are the best students. And Cpac is so blessed to have the best teachers. Edelweiss, when you leave the portals of this institution, please leave all your heartaches and pains behind, knowing that all that we did is for your best. And bring the lessons and the beautiful memories we shared. On behalf of the teachers, we're sending you off with love and prayers. May God be with you to bless you and keep you wherever you go. This is my prayers, and parents and sponsors, congratulations. We have treated your children with the utmost love and prayer. God bless everyone.
Thank you, dear mentor, for that response. And now, brothers and sisters, we hold this celebration because of the incredible faith and dedication of our parents. This ceremony this afternoon has shaped, or this ceremony is really intended for our parents, our sponsors, and our mentors. And we recognize your dedication. For a number of our parents, choosing Adventist education is a profound commitment. A commitment to nurturing not only intellectual growth, but also spiritual development. It's a choice that reflects deeply held values and a vision for a future grounded in faith. That is why we have the distinct honor of presenting our loyalty awards to parents who have exemplified this extraordinary commitment. These awards are a heartfelt recognition of parents who have consistently chosen Adventist education for their children, spanning many years from elementary to college for the graduates. Your unwavering support and belief in the mission of the SDA education have been instrumental in shaping the young men and women we celebrate today. Thank you for your incredible partnership. At this point, we would like to have our administrators be on the stage as we give the loyalty awards to a number of our parents. And as we call the names of the parents, we would like also to give a medal to the child or to the graduate. So we are asking the graduate and also the parents to please come up on stage as we call your name. The certificate of loyalty is given to our parents, and this certificate reads this way. Certificate of loyalty is given to Mr. and Mrs. In recognition of their trust and confidence in the Adventist educational system by sending the name of this graduate to a Seventh-day Adventist school from elementary to college, given this 7th day of June 2025 at Central Philippine Adventist College Church, Alegria, Murcia, Negros Occidental, Philippines. This certificate is signed by our administrators, Vice President for Advancement, Pastor and Dr. Jesse J. Aragon Jr., and Pastor Dr. Leopold T. Balijong, Vice President for Student Administration, and our Vice President for Finance Administration, Mrs. Pearl Rilmay F. Arevalo, and our Vice President for Academic Administration, Dr. Julie Joy R. Lasificar, and our College President, Dr. Neda June D. Salazar. Let us now come to the calling of the names of our parents and together with the parents, the graduate. Please just follow the signal of our marshals. First on the list here, we would like to thank Mr. and Mrs. Marlief G. Agustin. Please come up on stage, Janica Marfiel Macaburas Agustin with your parents. Next in our list, we have Mr. and Mrs. Elizalde C. Agustino. Seldeber Iligan Agustino has been sent to Adventist schools from elementary to college. And with the same catering to Adventist education, we are also thankful to Mr. and Mrs. Fobel A. Bacolod with their child, Kathleen Joy Valero Bacolod. Further, we are calling Mr. and Mrs. Danny A. Ban with their graduate, Shinath Don Jukadan Ban. Next, we have Mr. and Mrs. Rudy T. Berdunar. Please come up on stage, Rod Barredo Berdunar, with your parents. We are also thankful to Mr. and Mrs. Carlito B. Bulaqueño for sending Bless May Lardera Bulaqueño to Adventist institutions. We are also calling Pastor and Mrs. Kevin Giovanni R. Canyal with their graduate Melkaya Shemi Cadiz Canyal. Next in our list, please come up on stage, James Steven Bangkil Dipilio, with your parents, Mr. and Mrs. Jackson T. Dipilio. To Mr. and Mrs. Ricky D. Dizon, thank you very much. Please come up on stage with your graduate, Gerald Degala Dizon. We are also calling Mr. and Mrs. Bernie G. Galas with their graduate Alburn Chris Delis Galas. Then, Pastor and Mrs. Freddy T. Gandulas, please come up on stage with your graduate Fresha Carmel Ritz Gilenio Gandulas. We are also calling Mr. and Mrs. Lauro E. Godilano with their graduate Zaira J. Lapana Godilano. With grateful hearts, Cpac is also thankful to Pastor and Mrs. Jose Conrado M. Hermoso for sending their son Joseph Ken Pulizon Hermoso to Adventist schools. Next in our list, please come up on stage, Mr. and Mrs. Nelson V. Hamotilio with your child Rhea Don Canupin Hamotilio. We still have a number of parents whom we will be calling and thanking. So we are calling Mr. and Mrs. Angelito M. Javier. Althor Sedon Javier, please usher your parents to the stage. We are also thanking or honoring Mr. and Mrs. David A. Makawili with their graduate Precious Dane Hinesera Makawili. Further, we still have a lot of parents who have catered Adventist education from elementary to college for their children. So we are calling Mr. and Mrs. Roger J. Marcelia with Roger II Torres Marcilia. Please come up on stage. And Mr. and Mrs. Lorenzo Jr. C. Martinez, please come up with Izer Lawrence Makawili Martinez. And next is Mr. and Mrs. Daniel A. Matulak with their child Colin Claire Gakusan Matulak. Next group of parents with their children, we are calling Mr. and Mrs. Charlie A. Normal with Sedi Kadava Normal. And Mr. and Mrs. Abner L. Palin with their child or with their son Nathan Amistoso Palin. And thank you also to Mr. and Mrs. Leonardo R. Panisan. And Kristen Lee Hingpit Panisan, please usher your parents to the stage. We are also calling to the stage Mr. and Mrs. Roger M. Rojas Sr. So Roger Paul Rojas Jr. may come up on stage with your parents. And to our graduate, Andrelyn Gabat Santiso, please come up on stage with your parents, Mr. and Mrs. Alexander M. Santiso. We are also calling Mr. and Mrs. Gregorio M. Silvestri. Lorraine Espilini Silvestri, please escort your brother and your parent on stage. And the last but not the least, thank you very much Mr. and Mrs. Winnie M. Toledanes for sending Winsome Jim Mariano Toledanes to Adventist institutions from elementary to college. To all our parents, you may not have come up to the stage, but we are still thankful for sending your graduate to Central Philippine Adventist College. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts from Central Philippine Adventist College. To all our parents, your unwavering support and belief in the mission of Central Philippine Adventist College have indeed been instrumental in shaping the lives of our graduates. And so we celebrate with all of you this afternoon. Thank you, thank you, thank you for your incredible partnership with CPAC. Shall we give a hand to all our parents?
To close our program this afternoon, let us all rise and sing Love Divine.
Shall we bow down our heads for a word of prayer? Our loving, gracious, and compassionate Father, it is because of your providence that we are here in this special day of our lives, and that you deserve all the praises and adoration. Lord, I am humbly asking you that may you cleanse us from all our unrighteousness, so that we are worthy to call upon thy name. Thank you, dear Lord, for sustaining us all throughout our college years. Thank you for because finally we are gradually able to reach one of our goals, and that is to be a degree holder. Thank you for the gift of family, friendship, and to those people who met that support and mold us to become a better version of ourselves. I pray that may you continually bless this program and to the dedicated people behind this. Please give us a beautiful weather tomorrow, and may you always guide us as we continue our journey. Thank you for the assurance that you will answer this prayer. In Jesus' name I pray, amen.
Thank you. Thank you very